that's why so many people don't take better care of their physical body. But when you discover your purpose and you're living your purpose, then you realize that your physical body is your vehicle to do what you're meant to do here on this planet. So then go out and enjoy life and also make a difference in the world.
Hello there. Welcome back to the My Future Business Show. It's great to be here. It's always great to be here. I love being your host. This is just a fantastic experience for me, and I'm hoping that it's a fantastic experience for you. Now, on today's show, I have the pleasure of welcoming America's healthy aging trainer, Mr. Rico Caveglia. Welcome to the show, Rico.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Great. It's great to have you here. Now, you and I, we're going to be talking about how to achieve real wellness and live a long, healthy, and happy life by adopting your ageless living lifestyle. That's a mouthful. And we'll also take a deep dive into your Vitality for Life Online program and the Fast Fit 17 fitness system. So, again, a lot to unpack here. Where are you calling in from today?
I'm in San Diego, California.
Oh, beautiful. What a place. Now, that is... it's a beautiful area. Tell us a little bit about where you live.
Yeah, well, I think the best thing about San Diego is we do have pretty much good weather all year around. Uh, and the only hazard we have to worry about is fire. Sometimes, we have some fires here in Southern California, but we don't have, we never had any serious earthquakes.
Right.
And it's just, it's really pretty mellow here. Yeah, San Diego's, it's really a nice community. It's not quite as as crazy as
Hustle and
LA.
bustle. Yep.
Yeah, but we still got everything here, and it's I've lived here for almost 45 years.
Oh,
So
beautiful. Look, are you on the
yeah.
coast or are you in the foothills? Where are you at?
No, I live right on the coast. Yeah, I
Oh,
live pretty close to the beach. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm a beach person.
going up the boulevard every day. I can just imagine. It's such a beautiful place, having been there. Now, tell me, what do you get up to when you're, in your free time? Do you do exactly that? Do you go up and down the boulevards? What do you think?
Well, yeah, mostly I like to. One of my favorite things is inline skating.
Oh, I love it.
I've been skating for, like, again, probably about 40 years, and we have what's called strand that runs along the beach where you can skate there. But there's a lot of other places and some parks. We have a lot of great parks here in San Diego as well.
Yeah.
And so just inline skating is so much fun. That's one of the main things I like to do for fun.
I,
But also, I play drums, and
oh,
I play in a rock and roll band. So
excellent.
yeah, so that's the two of my most fun things that I do.
Well, a couple of things from that. I love speed skating. We used to go to the roller rink, and our
Oh,
thing was reverse speed skating with your actual speed skates that were basically just footy boots on wheels,
oh,
and
I like.
we would try to do clearance jumps over 6 to 8
Oh,
people. How long could we jump? Did you ever get into that sort of stuff?
no, I never really get. I still have a knee injury from playing
Ah,
football a
yep,
long time ago, so my knee's still not that great. So I just pretty much straight ahead skate. Yeah,
love it.
I don't
Nah.
I don't do any tricks. Yeah.
Now, as a drummer, you must have I guess, a penchant for a certain type of rock. Tell me what your favorite music is that you like to play.
Well, mostly classic rock and blues. I like classic rock and blues, but now too I like what's called smooth jazz, contemporary jazz. But we play all kind of different music, but mostly we play blues and classic rock. Yeah, it's just
You,
so much fun.
I can imagine. I can see you sitting there playing away, and you've only got one thing that you can do at that moment in time, and that's be present in the moment. Does it
Exactly.
take you to a different place in your mind? What's it do for you?
Exactly. I've noticed so many times, even sometimes when, like, maybe I kind of strain my back or something a little bit, I'm not feeling too
Yep,
good. But then when the guys get here and we're going to rehearse or we're going to play, no matter what else you were concerned about, I totally forget about it.
just
You don't,
dissolves.
it's just gone away and you just get into the music and have so much fun. Yeah, I highly recommend it if it's all possible to, learn it. And actually, for your brain, learning a musical instrument or playing music is one of the very best things to keep your brain really, cruising along and staying active and healthy.
I tell you what, that need for coordination between the physical body and your brain is quite a challenge, especially with drums and
Yeah,
beats and off time and 4x4 and whatever
yeah.
types of styles you're into. Now, how long did it take you to learn drums?
Well, I've never really taken any formal lessons. I played a little bit when I was just in college a little bit, but then I I was on the road doing much of stuff, and I really didn't start playing until I moved to San Diego in 1980, and that's when I just started playing. And it's just a progressive thing, and that's one of the other beauties of playing an instrument. And I guess it's the same for any instrument, but drums. At first, you're limited. You keep going, and you keep. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, you just do something you couldn't do before, and
Love
it's such a great feeling. Like I'm playing better now than I ever have. And it's
it.
it's so much fun because you can just do more things all the time.
I'm so impressed by that because it's such a thing to go watch a live band, which we love doing. And
Yeah.
as it happens, although he's passed now, my father was in a rock band, and
Oh, cool.
I was too young to remember it, but I only wish that I could have seen him play. He had the long blonde hair and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy times, crazy times. Now tell me, when you're out and about and you've gone to these pubs, clubs, wherever it is that you play, do you like to have a meal there? And what do you like to eat?
Well, I'm half Italian. I like Italian food. It's probably my favorite, but I like all foods. Thai food. We That's another good thing about San Diego. We have just such a good variety of all kind
Oh
of
yeah.
restaurants. Where do you live, Rick?
I'm in a place called McLaren Vale in South Australia, Australia, but the majority of my guests are from the States.
Oh yeah,
Small
yeah.
world we live in, isn't it?
Well, that's a great thing about technology. Isn't it
Oh,
cool how we can just be, you're in Australia and I'm here, and we can just have a conversation. That's
it's
so cool.
amazing. Yeah, well, look, we're beaming a international show, so hopefully we can get people to notice what you're up to, Rico. Now, tell me, before moving to San Diego, where did you grow up? And I was wondering if you could share, I guess, a
Yeah,
childhood memory with us.
yeah. I grew up in northern New Mexico in a place called Los Alamos. You ever hear of Los
Yes, I
Alamos?
have.
Yeah, that's well, you probably saw that movie, right?
Oh,
That's
yes.
where they actually developed atomic bomb, which was not so cool. But
No.
anyway, but it's a beautiful place. It's like 7,200 feet high up in the mountains. It's like 30 miles north of Santa Fe, right in the what's called the Jemez Mountains. Beautiful place to grow up. Uh, the only people that work there live there, and so because it was all run by the Atomic Energy Commission,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was totally safe. There's no crime, nothing to no worry about that, and there was nothing like any kind of racism. We didn't have to
Hoo-ha.
worry about any of
Yep.
that kind of stuff. So it
Yep.
was a great place to grow up, and I really got a great appreciation, for just being out in nature and climbing in the mountains and canyons, and so I really feel fortunate to be able to grow up there.
It's funny because I look at my own children nowadays, Rico, and they seem to be head into the tablets or games and all the rest of it. Where you and
Yeah,
I, we were more
I
likely to be out and about. And the
exactly.
only rule that I had, if I remember correctly, was that I had to be home when the street lights came on. Did you have that sort of thing?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, as I say, well, I guess you probably grew up in a safe place too. Parents didn't worry about
Nah.
anything with the kids in those days. We just go out and do whatever we did. Yeah, and again, like in Los Alamos, nobody even locks their door. You don't have to even worry about that.
Yeah, we used to sleep in a hammock out the front of our farm, and there
Yeah,
was a road that ran past it, and we've known people. You just know everybody. But things have changed. But that's the nature of
yes,
the world we live in, isn't it?
yeah,
Now tell
yeah.
me, you've been around. I'm pretty sure you would have met some incredible drummers and musicians along the way. But in terms of other inspirational people that have helped you, I guess, build your businesses and become a super fit individual with a great lifestyle, who's inspired you along the way, Rico?
Well, I would say one of them was I actually had the opportunity to meet and hang out with Jack LaLanne a few times, and the way that worked was, you know who Jack LaLanne was, right?
I'm familiar with the name, but I just can't
Oh,
place it.
oh, okay. Jack LaLanne was really an amazing guy. He was really the first person that was on TV doing fitness.
Right.
He's a big fitness guru way back in the 50s. And he used to do these incredible feats. If you just Google Jack LaLanne, I mean, this guy did things like he swam uh, handcuffed to about 10 rowboats in Alcatraz Channel. I
Oh,
mean, he did all these crazy things. He'd carry like a 300-pound barbell across the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, he's kind of a freaky guy, but he was just amazing. He was just totally into health and fitness and nutrition, and so I got to meet him and hang out with him a few times. And I got to tell you this. This is the coolest thing. When he was in his 90s, I heard him on an interview, and the interviewer said, "Jack, I heard that you still work out like 2 hours a day. You must love to exercise." He goes, No, not anymore. I hate it. He goes, you hate it? Well, then why do you do it? He says, you know what his answer was? Because I'm Jack LaLanne.
Ah,
So that's what I learned from him. So that's why I say, people say, man, I'm 82 now, and people say, well, you still can do all this stuff and you still do it. I say, why? Because I'm Mr. Ageless Living. so,
of course,
so I
of
learned that
course.
from him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great feedback. Now, tell me a little bit. That's a great segue into my next question. But in terms of, I guess, your daily routine, are you an early riser? What's your diet look like? Do you have exercise routines? Do you meditate?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
goes on in a day for you?
Well, I really believe in getting up early, or, get up with the sunrise, get up with the light. That's how we were meant to be originally.
Oh yeah,
When it gets dark, we're supposed to calm down and slow down. And when the sun's up, that's when we're come alive and get out and do things. Yeah, I usually get up at least by 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I still have a few fitness clients that I work with. So sometimes I go see them really early and we do a workout with them. But then mostly I'd like to start my day, and that's something I really advise my clients is to start your day. You got to have a morning routine. You can't just hear the alarm and jump up and drink some coffee and run out, and then you're all frazzled, and you're not centered. You're not living on purpose or intentionally. So you got to take some time to slow down a little bit. Take a few minutes to have a little meditation, and breathe and set your intentions for the day. It's so important, to start off being optimistic and being joyful and go and
get into it.
just insane to yourself that I'm going to make this a great day. I'm going to go out and make a difference in the world, and that makes all the difference in the world. So you need to get some, breathe, have some water, have a little slight meditation, maybe do
Yep,
a little bit of warm up, some movement,
yep.
and then you get out there and take on your day.
There are so many things that I could explore here. You've talked about first light. You've talked about grounding. You've talked about taking your shoes off, getting back to nature, doing some mind work as well. So many people, like you just suggested, they just rush into the day. I wonder, do you ever give yourself the time to have a break? Because sometimes I wake up of a morning, Rico, and I think I can't be bothered doing my exercises this morning, and I just
Yeah.
want to pull the cover over my head. Do you get those days? And if so, how do you
Yeah, but
manage it?
no, yeah, that's okay. I don't believe in being extreme. Like I don't believe in extreme diets. I don't believe in extreme workouts anymore either.
Mm,
I mean, those are that's a different thing. If you're an athlete or you're training for something, then you can do some little more extreme workouts. But no, I don't believe in being extreme, because that kind of creates a little subtle stress as well, Yeah, sometimes if you don't have anything really going on and you feel like just chilling out and just staying in your bed and relax a little while,
love it.
why not? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Go with I believe in going at the be in the present moment and see how you feel, and then
Go from there.
because it's all about how we feel, right? We're
Absolutely.
feeling beings, yeah.
Yep.
So take care of what you feel. Listen to your inner self, your intuition, and go by how you feel.
There's
Yeah,
lots to learn from your life's experience, Rico, and I'd love to learn a little bit about the importance of diet. We see nowadays the marketing of fast foods. We see
yeah,
genetically modified produce. We see so many things that are against us, plastics and all this sort of stuff. What do you do for your diet, and what's the best
yeah,
thing, do you think?
yeah. Well, of course, nutrition and food and all this it's a complex topic. We could take a whole weekend workshop to go
Oh
over
yeah.
all those things. But here's the thing to make it real simple. Actually, my very first book, that was still my best-selling book, I wrote in the late 90s, I think 97 or something. It's called Real Food, Real Fast. It's how to make healthy fast food. Because in those days, I was really a busy personal trainer and I was running around and I wasn't eating as good as I know that I wanted to. So what I did was I realized, first of all, so the first part of it is uh, uh, real food, real fat, and real food is just what's grown in nature.
Yep.
It's organic fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and some healthy grains. And then I believe in, healthy animal products that are some animal products that are raised in a natural condition. So real food doesn't come. You don't have to read the label. It doesn't have a label. It's already perfect the way nature was made it. So if you can just make 80 to 90% of your diet just real food, it's just like we said, it's not a manufactured processed food. And if you just begin to strive for that, so many problems, all these chronic illnesses that people have will just go away. Now we're all metabolically unique. So, what could be a really healthy food for some people can almost kill some people. I, you know,
Mm,
I have a friend that if he eats any kind of a nut, you have
he's
to rush him
done.
to the hospital. He'll almost die. So you
Yep.
still need to see what works for you because we're all a little bit
We're all
unique.
different. Yep.
But just to make it simple is just learn you got to eat real food. And I'm not saying you should never eat anything that I eat some things that come in a package or have a label and all that stuff. But if you just get your diet to eat primarily whole real foods, what a difference it'll make.
I try to teach my children discipline. And as a former martial artist, I spent many, many years of my life training until I had kids and then it stopped. And
uh,
now they're
uh,
just about to go for the ultimate grading for them. They've spent the
oh.
last 8 years, but what they've taken is commitment and discipline. How important from I guess, a nutritional and a lifestyle perspective are those two things?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's well. Let me see how to say this. I think with anything. Well, okay. Let's talk about children. I think what children really need to learn that everything is possible in your life.
Mm.
Everything is possible. You can achieve whatever you dream,
Yep.
but you got to put in the work, and it takes work. And just look at examples of highly successful people, whether they're in athletics or business or whatever. I mean, they put in the work. So you got to create some discipline, and you got to realize that if you really want to whatever that you want to achieve, no matter what it is in your life, you better step up and take responsibility for it, and you got to put in the work. And so, yeah, so again, our children, we have to teach them, look, nothing's it doesn't come easy, and it's not going to be handed to you. If you want something, you got to earn it. You got to get out there and work for it.
And go and get it. Yeah, well, look, great feedback. Thank you so very much. And it makes me think about goal setting. I mean, to this day, I suspect you're continually setting goals. Is that a formative part of your existence?
Yeah, here's the thing about goals. What I see most people still kind of leave out. That's why most people aren't successful with their goals. Is in order for a goal to be successful, you have to tie it to what your core values are and what's truly important in your life. One of the worst goals is I want to lose weight or I want to lose 20 pounds. That's absolutely the worst goal. It's the worst New Year's resolution too, as we know. Nobody just sticks with it and does it. Because yeah, that's something superficial. That's not, nobody wants to even think about losing weight or all this excess pounds. And so what I ask people to do is I have a little process to figure out how to find the goal that's really a true goal that you can accomplish. So I call it. You keep asking why. If someone says, "I want to lose weight," well, I say, "Well, why do you want to lose weight?" And at first they might say, something superficial like, well, so I can fit in my jeans better. Okay, well, then why do you want to fit in your jeans? What's important about that? Well, maybe I'll look better and maybe I'll have more friends. Okay, well, why is that important? So you see, you keep drilling
Yep,
down,
yep, yep.
and what you normally gets to, it gets down to to family. Like I really want to lose weight so I can be healthier and live longer. I can be here for my children, or I want to set a good example for my children. So that's your goal.
Mhm.
I want to be healthy and be around so I can support and be a good example for my children. That's the goal.
That's the goal,
And
yeah.
then and losing the excess body fat is just a tactic in order to achieve your goal.
It's almost like a byproduct of that approach. Absolutely great feedback. Now, I'm really interested to learn about your multi gold and silver medalist performance at the
Oh, well,
California
thank
State
you.
Senior Olympics. Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know what,
Very cool.
Rick? Rick, I was a sprinter in high school and first year in college until I
Yep.
hurt my knee playing football. And so, but then, I just couldn't run fast anymore, so, and I never was into long distance running or that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So I just kind of gave it up because my knee was not in too good shape. I had a knee operation in 19, I think 60 or 61. And back in those days, the rehab, I don't even think that was a word,
No.
I don't, they never even heard of that. You just had the operation and
Away you go.
goodbye. Yeah, the way you go. That's it. And so, but when I moved to San Diego, and this was in the 80s, and then in the 90s, I met these guys that were master, they're running Masters track. These guys were hardcore track guys, and I said, man, but then, well, first of all, okay, when I first got it, and when I became a personal trainer, then I started training, and started improving the quality of my muscles and my knee, and my leg got better and stronger than that. And then I became a cyclist, so my legs really got a lot better. And so I finally said, okay, I'm going to try it. So then I just started slowly get back into sprinting, and I found that I still wasn't, I still one leg was my left leg still wasn't as strong as my right, because of my knee, but it wasn't that bad. And so I just kept training, and I started training with these guys. So then they got me into, going to some of these events, and then we uh, and one year we had the California State Senior Olympics here in San Diego, and that was so much fun. I got some gold medal. I got a gold medal with a relay team, and I got the silver medal in the 200 meters. 200 meters was my best race, but then I competed in a lot of other. Uh, just local here in San
Yeah,
Diego, and
yeah.
then I did compete in one national senior in St. George, Utah one year. Where I think I got a silver medal in the 200 meters there as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think about people like you, and I think you've clearly you've broken the code because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Rico, that with your body, if you don't move it, you lose it, don't you?
That's exactly what I say. Move it or lose it. It's
Yeah.
absolutely right. It's so good that you said that because, here's the thing these days, especially for older people as they age. Again, you don't have to go do a boot camp. You don't got to beat yourself up, but you got to move your body. This is a good. I got to tell you this, Rick. This is a good thing. They had uh, uh, there was a study a while back, two different groups, and it was based on weight loss. But they took the one group and they had them exercise real intensely for an hour every day. Okay, and the other group they said all you have to do is just don't sit around and like most people do watching TV all day. Just keep moving. Keep moving throughout your day. And guess what? At the end of the study, the group that just kept moving, they lost more weight than the group that exercised really intensely for an hour a day.
I'm not surprised by that. I
Yeah,
really am not. Yeah.
and what that shows you, I like to tell people, uh, do you have I like to ask people who exercise, do you have a sedentary lifestyle? And they say, oh no, like say, I exercise real hard every day, an hour, maybe 2 hours. I say, okay, but then what are you doing the rest of the day? Sitting in front of the computer, you're sitting in your car, you're sitting in TV. So if you're still sitting the biggest part of your day, you have a sedentary lifestyle. So,
Yes.
so, so the key is what I try and do and tell my clients is just get up. Don't sit for more than 30, 45 minutes. If you have to, put a little alarm or a note. Just get up and move and do some stretching or breathing and walking around at least for 5, 10, 15 minutes and then go back.
Get
But if you
into it.
sit for really long periods of time, it's just deadly. You've heard that saying that sitting's the new smoking?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
those with large TVs as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
so it's about movement. You just got to keep moving. Again, you don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to lift heavy weights. You don't got to run miles and miles. I mean, it just depends. What I also like to teach people, you have to choose. You just need to be as fit as what suits your lifestyle. Again, I see people going to the gym. They're just doing stuff, and they don't even know why they're doing or what their goals are. So it's just about really learning, what's really important, what you want to do. If you're happy just to go for walks or play a little pickleball or see your grandkids or something like that, then you just have to do some basic stuff on a regular basis. But if you want to climb mountains and ride your bike for 50 miles, you got to train a little harder. So you got to just match your fitness workout with your lifestyle.
Yeah, great feedback. That is wonderful feedback. Thank you so very much. Now, I know a lot about your background from the research that we do, and I'd love to talk about your exposure on CBS News, Fox, NBC, ABC. How did that all come about? Amazing.
Okay, well, okay, that's not as good as it sounds. Actually, those are just if you if you submit articles
Ah, I see.
on their news page, then you can say that you've been on their thing. But I don't know if I mean I have been on TV. I don't know if I mostly local TV though. Yeah, so that's really just that I've had a lot of different articles on all those
Oh, I
different
get it. Yeah, well,
places.
look,
Yeah,
it's still quite relevant because, these are pretty significant media outlets, and I'm sure they would have
yeah,
got you some
yeah,
exposure, I guess. But
yeah, yeah,
I'd
yeah,
love to shift gears now, if we could, Rico, and I'd love to talk about your ageless living lifestyle concept. Where did this come from, and what was, I guess, the
yeah,
moment that it came about?
yeah. Thank you so much for asking that. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I became a personal trainer in 1982. Actually, a friend of mine, we opened up the very first modern personal training studio in San Diego in 1982 called Fitness by Design. And so I was just learning about fitness and nutrition and all those things. And I was just really loving it. I said, man, this is great. Get to learn how to be really healthy and energetic for yourself and then help other people and get paid for it. But then just about I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years after that, my father died of lung cancer at the age of 70. And, he was one of those guys he was just always really healthy, never went to a doctor, never got physicals and all that stuff. He was, but he smoked cigarettes since he was a little kid.
Mm,
He grew up in the Depression. He was a street kid in Chicago and he smoked cigarettes since he was 11 years old.
wow,
And then all of a sudden, it just
hit him.
just caught up with him, and his lungs were gone, and he just died.
Yep,
So what I realized from that was, you know, back in those days, no one knew how bad smoking was. That everybody thought, even doctors smoked, and people thought it was okay.
yep,
And so what I realized was, if he had been educated and knew how bad it was, he probably wouldn't have smoked, and now he could still be here alive. And so I didn't want that to happen to me. I didn't want to become ill and die way too young, and I didn't want my clients either. So I began studying everything I could to learn about what the body requires to function optimally. So that's why I came up and I developed what I call the ageless living lifestyle. It's a complete mind, body, and spiritual wellness system of proven strategies that I know work. That's because they work with my clients, they work with myself, and so again, it takes a whole thing. It's your mindset. It's how you take care of your physical body. It's also, there's a spiritual aspect of it as well. The spiritual aspect of it is, Rick, I when you get into fitness and health, and you know how good you feel, how much energy you have, and all the benefits, you just wonder what's wrong with people? Why are so many people still not exercising on a regular basis or eating healthy food on a regular basis? You just can't figure it out. And finally, what I finally realized that so many people I think, have a disconnect, from their spiritual self and their physical self. But however you think of that, I believe that we're all here with a divine purpose. We're here. We're not just here randomly. We're here with a purpose, and we all have unique skills and abilities to how to make it a better world and serve other people. So if you're not connected with a purpose in your life, that's why so many people don't take better care of their physical body. But when you discover your purpose and you're living your purpose, then you realize that your physical body is your vehicle to do what you're meant to do here on this planet in this particular time. So then you realize, hey, I better take the best care I possibly
oh
can of
yeah.
my physical body so I can go out and enjoy my life and also make a difference in the world.
Yeah, great feedback. Thanks again. Now, I know that that's a very deep and meaningful program, and I'm pretty sure we could take a deep dive into that. But I would also love to. You didn't stop there. You went on to do Fast Fit 17 fitness system. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was okay. That came about because, again, as you know, it's why so many people, first of all, don't even get started with the fitness program, and then so many
Hmm.
people don't stick with it. And of course, the biggest excuse, as everybody knows, is, "Oh, I'm too busy. I don't have time." Right? That's the
Oh
number
yeah.
one excuse. And then the second excuse was, Well, I've tried things in the past, but I didn't really get that good results, or it wasn't fun and all this kind of thing. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to develop a system that you can do really quickly, and it's not that difficult at all, and it won't take you very long. So what I like to teach anyway, I call functional fitness. It's how to train your body so you can function better in your daily life. That's what's the most important. That's really the reason why we should be exercising. And so I developed a complete full body workout, just using your own body weight for resistance. You don't need any equipment. You can do it any place, any time. And so I filmed a video, and then there's a PDF that goes along with it, shows you exactly the movements. So, and you can do this full body workout in just, it takes about 17 minutes. You can do a whole full body
Whole
workout
lot.
in 17 minutes. And you only need to do it like maybe, well, two times, at least two times, or maybe three times a week. So that's how I came up with the Fast Fit 17 fitness system. And that's really for people who just, really aren't into it, but they know they need to do something. And
Hmm.
of course, I mean, you're not going to become a bodybuilder doing that, but you can definitely keep your muscles toned and strong and flexible enough to function well. So yeah,
That's that.
it's at, fastfit17.com, and I still charge only $17. So
That's crazy.
what a
Oh,
bargain. Yeah.
yeah. Well, look, I tell you, at the end of the call, if anybody's on this call, they're interested in seeing those programs, we'll be providing the links below
Oh, yeah,
this
thank you.
interview, Rico. So no problems there. But tell me, when did you start writing books, and why did you start writing books?
Oh, well, thank you again. You asked such great questions. Okay, so, well, again, when I got this whole idea, to create this lifestyle, because, okay, how that came about was when I first learned that science was telling us that our genetic potential is to stay healthy to 125. So that means our lifespan could be 125, but yet we know our life expectancy in America is only about 76, actually coming down. So I said, wait a minute, that means most people are missing out on 30, 40, 50 years of good living, And so, and then when I realized, when we found out also next was that genes only play a small role, maybe 10, 15% on how long we're going to live and how healthy we're going to be. So we realized it's lifestyle. It's really your lifestyle that's creating all these challenges and making you become old and sick and dying way too young. So that's why I said, okay, I'm going to create this lifestyle, and it needs to be, not based on your age, but based on how well you take care of yourself. And so that's how I came up with the Ageless Living Lifestyle. And so uh, I just, I've been developing it and teaching it and living it for all these years, and just keep on perfecting it and
And
finding more and different ways and how to make it easier and simpler. But it's really about being consistent, just being consistent, and realize that if you don't take care of your mind and your body, you're going to end up like most people. You're going to get old and sick and die way too young.
oh yeah. Now tell me, do you how many books have you written?
Oh, oh, yeah, on the book. Okay, so I say, well, people say, well, you got to put this in a book. Okay, so I put it in a
Yep.
book,
Yep.
uh, and then here's an interesting thing that I think might be interesting to the audience, Rick, is that I grew up stuttering, and I stuttered pretty badly as a kid, and as I got older, uh, I still stuttered, but I didn't stutter that bad. But I still stuttered. So all the media people and the marketers said, "Well, this is you got your new book out. It's a great system. You're the model for it. You got to get out and speak and get your message out to the world." But when you stutter, the last thing you think you're going to be is a public speaker, right? That's the absolute last thing.
Yeah.
And so I just totally resisted at first, and then I realized, here I'm telling my clients to meet their challenges, and I wasn't meeting mine. So I just, just when you step into your fear, no matter what your challenge is, you can overcome it, and it gets smaller when you step into it instead of avoiding it. So I just kept working on it, and now I'd love to speak. And so I think that's important to realize. No matter what, we all have challenges, no matter what it is. But if you just step up and take responsibility and step into your fear, you can overcome it. And when you come out the other side, just a whole new world opens up for you.
Absolutely. I tell you, do you have any goals to write any further?
Yeah, I still, I right now I mostly just write. I just have the two hard copies, Ageless Living and Real Food, Real Fast,
Mhm.
and then all my other books have been ebooks. And these days, people don't want to read long books; they just want to get the message, get the information real quickly. So yeah, I just write small. I still do newsletters or info letters, and
Mhm.
I still keep coming out with more little simple ebook. I have probably about 19 ebooks, all different subjects on wellness and now I'm turning them into audiobooks. People like to listen to them as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Out of all of the, I guess, the books and the content that you've created over the years, Rico, do you have a favorite piece?
My favorite piece, uh,
Most relevant, it's
the
very
most,
impactful.
most. Gee, I don't know. I got so many different topics. I put out so many things. Well, okay. Let me tell you this one, and if you'd like, I'd love to send you a copy of this one. It's called Real Happiness, Real Success, Real Fast. I did a whole series of
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
something real, something real fast, something real, and something fast. And so one of my books is called Real Happiness, Real Success, Real Fast. And what that was about is, I realized that first of all, the basic foundation for being happy or successful is you got to be healthy and you got to have a lot of energy because to be successful in any aspect of your life, if you don't have a lot of energy or if you don't have good health, how successful can you be and how happy can you be, right?
Yep.
So that's why I'm trying to make people understand that you got to build the foundation just like for a house. If you want to be successful and happy in your life, you got to first take care of your health so you're healthy and you're energetic, and then you can go out and do all kind of things that can make you successful and make you happy. So, and what I came up with was it's really about how we have a saying too, Rick, is so many people spend their health building their wealth,
Ah,
and then they have to try and spend their wealth to rebuild their
the
health.
health. Yep.
That's not a good plan. It's not a
No,
good
it
plan.
doesn't work too well.
Yeah, and so how some people say, well, I'm just everybody gets so caught up into how much money you can make and material they can gain, but and they put off all these other things that are so important and building relationships and enjoying your life and having good health. And so the system I came up with was you got to be clear on what are your values and what's really important in your life. As we know, the main things are always is to have good health, have good relationships, and have good financial success. So you got to work on all those things. Maybe not exactly every day, but you can't put one off and or discard. I'll do the other ones later. That doesn't work. You never get around to it. So you got to spend time on your health every day. You got to spend time on your relationships every day. You got to spend time on your business or your finances. And so you've got to take time to make sure that you're well rounded and you're spending time on all those areas of your life. And then then you're actually enjoying your life, not just working so much or doing, stressing out on this and that. So it's all about how to create balance and work on all the aspects that are important to you on a regular basis.
So I tell you, it seems to me that the formula in and of itself is quite simple. However, we talked about commitment and discipline for children, but with adults that are down getting to this path where they've built the wealth, but they don't have the health, like we've just talked about. Do you
Yeah.
find that it's difficult for people to make these changes? And what do they do when they come to work with you? What's the first thing that you will do with them?
The first thing I do is, you know, is just really just find out what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what's going on in your life, because that's really where it's at. It's all mental first, right? It's all about your mindset. What thoughts are you having, or what negative things you're thinking, or what you think you can't do or you can't do, or what's really concerning you. So you got to work on that first. You got to get rid of any limiting beliefs that you have, and you got to realize that look, you can do whatever you want to accomplish, but you just have to commit to say, I'm going to start doing it. And no more excuses. You got to cut out the excuses, because everything's an excuse. You can always say, well, but no, I said, no, come on, no buts, no this. if you're really committed that you want to get healthier and you want to look and feel better and you want to live longer, you've got to say, okay, I'm ready to go. I've got to do that. So first thing is to just be really clear on what you really want to accomplish, and then become clear on what's been holding you back and what limiting beliefs you've been having that's holding you back. And you got to learn to start letting go of those things, and then you can be, because if you don't do that, you're not going to stick with your nutrition
No.
plan or your exercise plan or all those kind of things. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your Fearless Aging podcast. Is that still running?
Well, you know what? I yeah, that's been for like 3 years, and we've done almost 260 episodes.
Fantastic. Yep.
Yeah, well, just like isn't it so much fun? It's the best thing that you could ever start doing. You get to meet such cool people. You just learn so much, and you get to offer a great service. Get some great information out to people.
Oh, yeah.
But then just this year, uh, I turned my podcast. It's a TV show. It's called Fearless Asian TV show.
Yeah, so we're going to ask
Uh,
you about that.
yeah, it's streamed on the major streaming channels like Hulu and Roku and Amazon Fire and all those. And my platform that I work with is it's called e360tv.com.
Mhm.
They're the platform that hosts it. And so, yeah, we get to do a TV show every week. And again, you have guests on, and then it gets streamed to like I say, to most of the major streaming channels. And so, yeah, it's just been so cool, and we're doing really well. We've just been doing it about 5 months, and already we're getting about 12,000 views. So
Oh, congratulations. That's
it's
amazing.
it's really fun.
I tell you what, if I ever want to learn something, primarily I will go to a podcast because I know I'm going to get the good oil on information. So I suggest that we make available your links to this podcast after the show as well, Rico. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
going
Thank
back,
you.
going back to what we talked about in terms of onboarding, do you have some sort of an assessment that people can go through to work out where they're at, what you can do for them, and that sort of thing?
Um, I really don't. I used to do something like that,
Mm.
or originally, mostly because I've worked with people, uh, live one on one,
Yep.
and then yeah, then they go through a whole assessment. I do a whole analysis of them and all that, but that's live. But since I just started this last couple of years with my online coaching.
Mm.
So basically, what I do there is, well, one thing I do, I always have people do. It's real important. It's I have people keep a 3-day food diary and have them write down everything they eat and drink and the time of the day, and that's the most informative thing. I like to ask people, "How's your diet?" And most of the time they'll say, "Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty healthy." I
Yeah.
say, "Okay, well, let's find out."
Tell us the truth.
Yeah, and so a food diary, that's one of the main assessments that's really important. But then after that, like I say, if we're just doing it online, like now, like a virtual coaching, I just have to ask them a whole lot of questions, and just see what they're currently doing, what kind of health challenge they may be having, or what kind of physical ailments they have, and then so the first few sessions is really about that, just
Yeah.
finding out, letting them tell me what's going on, what they need, and what they're dealing with, and then we can put it all together and come up with a system that'll work for them, no matter. And the good thing, Rick, is no matter where you're at, no matter what you're dealing with health challenges, with aging, or whatever challenges that you're having, there's always a way to do it. There's no matter what. You can always find some exercises that you can do. You can find ways to improve your diet. You can sleep better. You can reduce your stress. There's always ways to do it. So that's the benefit of having a coach, especially with someone who has a lot of experience. That we can develop a personalized program that's going to work exactly just for you.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's called the Elite Online Coaching Program. Is that correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, again, we've got many links to share, and I'll get you momentarily, Rico, to share the best, I guess, starting point for people to contact you. But you have any speaking engagements coming up? You talked about that earlier.
Uh, well, let me see. I do. I do get offers sometimes to be on different people's summits, and just like that. It's great to be on your podcast.
Wonderful to have you here.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, you're really a great interviewer. I'm really enjoying our conversation. I, before COVID, I used to get out and speak quite a bit locally in San Diego, and then after that, just kind of, well, now it's out there again, but I just haven't really been attending too many big events anymore. So I don't really, I need to get out there more and
It's
speak.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's the online environment, and especially COVID
yeah,
changed the way that many people operate permanently.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I guess one of the biggest questions that I had for you out of today's call, Rico, is that somebody comes to you with a challenge and they're struggling, but it's a transformation. Everything's about transformation, really, isn't it? Going
yeah,
from overweight to optimum, all that sort of
yeah,
stuff. But
yeah.
how does it make you feel when you see people that have worked with you, followed your process, get results? How does it make you feel?
Yeah, that's the best thing about this business. Well, again, as you know, I mean, whenever you can, and whatever your business is or whatever you're doing, when you can serve other people and make a difference in their life, that's worth it. I mean, we all need to make money, of course, still too, but yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, because the coolest thing is, Rick, is that I know exactly what I've been doing this for so long. I know exactly what people need to do. I know what's going to work. I know what's going to help them. So my real challenge is just to you know keep building the trust with them and actually get them to actually implement it. And then when they implement it, I know they're going to get the results. They're going to look so much better. They're going to feel so much better, and that's such a satisfying thing. Yeah, I feel really blessed to be able to to be in this profession that I am. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's a real credit to you. Your life's journey is, I guess, a very can be the standard, and that's what people don't recognize here is that we don't have to age through pain or anything like that. We can do this and be successful at it for many more years, and that's the real confidence booster. That's a real north star for me. So thank you very much, Rico. Now, when people want to connect with you, learn more, become part of your programs, see all your books and that sort of thing, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, to my main website, which is agelessliving.lifestyle.com. And the first thing I recommend right away, you can see right at the top there, you can take our aging assessment. And it's just kind of it's a short, fun assessment, but you'll gain some insights on how well you are aging. And then I like to tell people, if you don't like the results, then right there too, you can book a call with me. It's a free call, and we'll just have a friendly conversation, and we'll discuss what health and fitness and aging or whatever challenges you're having. And I know I'll be able to give you some quick and easy solutions that you can implement immediately, and they'll put you on the right track. And then, if you're interested, I can tell you about my coaching program and see if we're a good fit and how we can get you going right away and with guaranteed results.
There you go, everybody who's on this call today. If you've enjoyed what we've talked about, you're going to find the links to all of Rico's wonderful work, including his books and the programs and everything else you're going to need to know to make that, that first step, take that first step. But with all that being said, Rico, this has been a absolutely wonderful call. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so very much for joining me on the show today.
Well, thank you, Rick. Thanks so much for having me.